I'm going to then go through a story where I was involved, where I'm going to try and show you the application of these things. So early in 2010, a business unit for the company that I was working for was about to be closed down. There were years of declining performance, and the production manager was overloaded. And then the MD said, "This is a strategic asset. Let's give it one last chance." He said, "I'll give it to you. You've just done theory of constraints." I was a technical manager. I'd never run any operations before. So I said, "That's fine. I'll do it." And he said there was one little caveat to it. I would have 2 days on site every month, and there would be 6 months before they pulled the plug. So this was actually a godsend, because I knew that the standard stuff would not work. There was no way on this earth that we could fix this, just doing better what we did before. So the sales have been falling 5 years in a row. Sales and finance at head office, they thought the team running the plant was pretty poor. In fact, they used some colorful language as to what they thought of their skills. And they thought they were the cause of the problems. So the well-meaning advice that I got was, fire as many of those people before your job gets on the line. So, and just some example, the quoted lead time, 6 to 7 weeks, but on some items, it was often as long as 10. The customers were extremely unhappy. I mean, their tolerance time was like half the quoted lead times often. So the finance department believed that by cutting costs, the unit could drop the price and then become profitable again. So the site manager spent a day a week going through every cost incurred on the printouts to see if it could be reduced or if higher efficiencies could be achieved. So finance further applied pressure for lower scrap, which required fewer changeovers and longer production runs, while the sales department screamed for shorter lead times and shorter runs. And in this environment, just when I got there, the production planner had a nervous breakdown. It was just impossible to bring these conflicting requirements together. And it's a classic example of the trap between strategy 1 and 2 of Professor Danny Wells. Get the cost lower, but also look after your customer, give them what they want. So I put the strategy together and said, we will halve the lead time and we will become reliable in our due date performance. And we communicated to all the personnel. Some of them sniggered when they heard it the first time, but we let that slide. And then we had follow-up meetings every week. And the real obstacle was that it was very time consuming to access the ERP data, more than 500 SKUs, and the load on operations and the location of supply. It was there, but it was difficult to get to. The production process was unstable and constantly interrupted by emergency orders. And then this, along with cost-saving measures, led to insufficient capacity being available. So step 1 was just to simplify the sales order and the manufacturing process. And step 2 was the technology intervention. We had to get that ERP data together in a way that everyone could see at any moment. And actually, the technical manager on the site did this by using a little bit of SQL into an Excel sheet. That was the technology breakthrough. So all the information was available. It was just not where it was needed, and it was just not fast enough to be used as part of a good strategy. So very soon, instead of just reacting to problems and changes in the market, they started having days of advance warning of developing issues, and they could act before they had a problem. So the manager could start delegating without fear, because they knew they could correct any issue that would come up in the implementation of new ideas. And the employees started feeling comfortable and willing to try things that are better efficiency, just doing things a little bit better. So the culture, it changed by itself. It was the easiest culture change and engagement transformation I've ever seen. If you think about it, it was a continuous, incremental, bottom-up process change with just progress meetings every month. And it was the change platform idea versus the change program. There was no change program because he didn't know what would work and what we would have to deal with. And because of the excellent visibility, the parts of the business could align towards a common goal, which was to reduce the lead time and improve the due date performance. So what were the results? Well, the customers absolutely loved the new offering. Employee engagement went through the roof. Planner was a different person, couldn't wait to get to work in the morning. Lead times halved, no stockouts occurred, almost no late deliveries. Within 6 months, margin increased by 20%. And 3 years later, the sales volume for a year was up 70% and the margin up 67%. So that's my story. I know we went through it very quickly, but I hope that you have lots of questions and that you've got lots of ideas to discuss a little bit further. Thank you very much for not falling asleep. I highly appreciate it.